In the first activity, it's called identify factors. So remember, factors are numbers that multiply. So this says, besides 18 and 1, what is one factor of 18? So remember, factors of 18 are like 1 times 18. These are both factors of 18, 1 and 18. 2 times 9, 3 times 6. These are all the numbers that multiply to 18. And so you can type 2 in here, you can type 9, you can type 3, you can type 6. It's just asking for one factor of 18, one number that multiplies to 18. Okay, here, just a different format, but same idea. Which numbers are factors of 34? With 34, you might think like, oh, I don't know, like what multiplies 34? Well, what I would do is just kind of start with the number and say, okay, well, I see it's even, so I know it's divisible by 2. So 34 divided by 2 is what? 17, right? So, and in fact, 17 is prime. So these are the only two factors of 34. So in this case, you would just check 17. You would look, is there a 2? Nope. And none of these numbers multiply to 34, so you wouldn't check those. Right? And the next activity, it's just you got to have the facts memorized, right? So 5 times what is 35? Oh, 5 times 7 is 35. If you're not sure, you can use your multiplication chart, or you can count by 5s, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right? And just use your fingers and count, oh, how many 7s is that? Okay, 9 times what is 63? For the 9 times tables, I'm like really a fan of just using your fingers. So remember, here's your one hand, here's your other hand. And for the 9s, if you put down, right, 9 times what is 63? So look, I want to have 6 fingers and 3 fingers. I would have to put down my 7th finger to make this 63. If you remember that trick, right, where you can put down one finger. So if I put my 10 fingers up and I put down my 7th finger, that gets me 63. Okay, what times 8 equals 64? Again, like, hey, you should know 8 squared is 64, 8 times 8. Okay, this is just a memorizing one. Okay, now we're talking about value of a digit. Okay, so this number, what you have to understand about this number is that this digit means this is the hundredths place, right? So this is like, let's say here, I'm going to put a different number just so we can kind of see it. This is hundreds. This is tens, and this is ones. So like this 3, this means 300. This 7 means, look, right, this is 300. So that's what this is. This is 7 tens, and this is 2 ones. So if you were to add 300 plus 70 plus 2, you'd get this number, right? But this number means 300, this means 70, and this means 2. So like this is the hundredths place. This digit, the value of this digit is 500. Then the value of this digit is 50, and this is 5, right? So this is the number 500 plus 50 plus 5, right? This number is 100 plus 20 plus 4. This digit is just 4. So in this case, I would just type 4. Okay, here this is 300 plus 20 plus 1. This value is 20. Okay, this is what I would put here. On the next one, greatest common factor. We've done this at a higher level, right? We've done it even with variables, so this should hopefully feel like a little bit of a review. What's the largest number that multiplies to both 40 and 35? What I would do is just start with the smallest number. Does 35 multiply to 40? No. What are the factors of 35? Let's see, 5 and 7. Okay, remember I'm looking for the greatest common factor, the largest number that multiplies to both. Does 7 multiply to 40? No. Does 5 multiply to 40? Yep. Okay, this would be 5. Okay, again, 4 and 40, 88. I'm going to start with this number. Does 4 multiply to 88? And if you're not sure, like you can use your calculator. You can do this, like, 4 times 2 is 8, right? That's 8, bring down the 8. Oh yeah, 4 times 22 is 88. Okay, so the largest common factor of 4 and 88 is 4, right? Sometimes, remember, the greatest common factor is just the smaller number. That's frequent. What's the greatest common factor of 15 and 13? Okay, here's the thing. 13 is prime. So the only factors of 13 are 13 and 1. Does 13 multiply to 15? No. So you could say these don't have a greatest common factor. The greatest common factor is just the number 1. Okay, and your last activity, rounding decimals. Okay, look, this says what is 36.08 rounded to the nearest whole number. Okay, the whole number is here. All right, so what I want to do is cut this off right here. Now what I need to do is look. If this next number is a 0, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, I round down, meaning it stays the same. Okay, like look, this number is a little bit more than 36. It's really close to 36, right? The answer here would be 36. Now, if that number, the next number, right? I'm not looking at this number, I'm looking at the, right, this is the whole number. I'm gonna cut it off here. I'm looking at the next number. If that number is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, then I round up. Okay, oops. Then I round up, and it goes up 1. So like, let's say, for example, this was 36.5. Well, then I would have rounded up to 37. Okay, so that's the whole number. Now, the nearest tenth, the tenths place is like, let's say I have 35.72. This is the 10th place, that first decimal. So this time, I'm not rounding to the nearest whole number. I'm going to cut it off right here, and I want to know, am I going to round this number up or down? And look, I'm looking at this next number. It's a 5. Oop, I'm going to go up 1. Now look, this one's tricky because, look, this is the nearest tenth. I want to round this up. Well, a 9 goes up to a 10, up to 0. So I'm going to end up having to round, if I round a 9 up, I end up having to round the next number as well. So this one is actually 11.0. Right? I'm basically going up from 10.9. What's the next number up? 11.0. Okay, here, round to the nearest whole number. I'm going to cut it off here. I'm going to look. Oh, this is going to round it up. So I'm going up from 76 up to 77. Okay, go ahead and try those 5 activities.